Wait, what's that? Hotel Transylvania 4 isn't coming out for Halloween. Well, when is it releasing? January on Amazon Prime? Okay then, I guess we'd best cover the next best thing. It's the terrible Hotel Transylvania 3. I'm gonna start off by saying, I'm not actually an avid hater of the Hotel Transylvania series. While it's certainly got its, quirks, I actually quite enjoy the original movie. The second rendition is a bit of a hazy memory to me, but I think I remember being frustrated through most of it because I think Johnny was exaggerated to be especially dumb despite now being a father, and Drac himself was just this annoying, selfish, manipulative father that was only seeking goals for himself, or something. But now, here we are with the third installment. Never saw it in cinemas. All I know is that it's more elastic, it's on a holiday cruise, and Dan Avidan's girlfriend was an animator for the film, doing this shot. So with the bare minimum in mind, let's hop in. We start off on a train in 1897. Hey, that's pretty cool. Show us some early days Drac and the gang. They look identical. Not even a minor visual cue like a changed hairdo.
Man, I hate wearing disguises. These heels are killing me.
Oh, so these are the kind of gags we resorted to, just out of the blue random. But then this guy comes in. And this guy's just a full-on Illumination character. But I'll admit, I'm entertained.
So you can believe me when I tell you there are monsters hiding amongst you.
Less of a fan of just the most stock chicken sound effect you can possibly find, mixed with some unneeded screaming, but you win some, you lose some, I guess. All hell breaks loose, we end up on the train, classic. Murray the Mummy now is apparently the butt of pain humor. I get interrupted by music. And Drac outsmarts Van Helsing across all of time. It's a cool sequence to show the passing of time, kinda, though I feel like I almost want to see the prequel material. Am I part of the problem here? Either way, I feel like this movie is already moving so fast that no one gets to truly enjoy some of the just bonkers animation we've seen. Look at these screenshots I grabbed from just this first scene. So now it's the present day with a spiky wedding taking place and the hotel is hosting. It's got some standard cartoony gags throughout just to tell us this bit of information.
A zing only happens once in your life, and you have to cherish it.
And then we move on to something I actually thought was a really good joke.
Do you hear that?
Yes, I thought we locked him in his room.
We did!
Dennis!
You see, that's a great subversion, and it's not the big dog that's the issue, it's the rabid child.
Tickles was crying, so we let him out.
Oh, so it was the dog. Boo. So following that, we get that one lonely scene from the Rugrats movie and an interaction with a really fun character design that leads into our main-ish plotline. Dracula's looking to date.
I want to meet someone.
Understood. You want to eat dim sum.
Are you kidding me right now?
This is a 2018 movie. And so to kick forward the plotline, Mavis interrupts Drac's Tinder attempts, he lies to her as he usually does, and she subconsciously pushes this narrative that they're all overworked. It's time to spend more time as a family. Surely it's just because the hotel just hosted a wedding. Like, anyway, off we go! It's Gremlin Air time. The joke is it's an airline that cares about you less than the United Express flight, and they really run with the punchlines. Luggage is chucked, snacks are scattered, oxygen is like this, and the pilots have this smug face as they're drowning their passengers, and I honestly really love how they prep to descend. But it takes us to our first location, the Bermuda Triangle. And I'll admit, I like this. Usually a holiday special is just an excuse to take us to some generic lands and call it story progression, but here, it's genuinely creative and on theme for monsters.
A cruise? But it's just like a hotel on the water.
I just realized why Sweet Life of Zack and Cody moved to Sweet Life on Deck.
You've barely been out of the hotel since Mom died.
Wait, wasn't the hotel thing started after she died in the first place? So now we're on the Titanic-esque cruise. Time for a collection of back-to-back gags with some of the monster characters. Dennis's arc, meanwhile, is trying to sneak Tinkles onto the boat. And as for Dracula...
First ever monster cruise!
And then the gags continue. Vlad is ogled, the blob vomits a child, and the werewolves drop off their kids.
Whatever we want, whatever we want, whatever we want.
Stop! Help me!
You know, this feels a lot more normal when you realize the fish is voiced by Jerry from Rick and Morty. Dude always ends up at daycares.
Whatever.
Wait, what?
All right, come on, Jerry.
Anyway, getting back to the actual plot, you probably know where it's already going. Captain Erica is in fact the great-granddaughter of the ancient Van Helsing.
They're animals.
Did we really have to reveal his look straight away? Couldn't it have been better if we revealed it a little bit later, you know? Instead of just immediately, Robot Man? Could have revealed that he's actually alive. All this granddaughter stuff and then Big Boy, no? No? Alright. Or are we too scared to infer mortality to any children? Anyway, it's evil exposition time. For 126 years, Abraham has been planning this scheme. After finding Atlantis, he needs to use the weapon that sank it to destroy all the Lord monsters at once. All Erica has to do is not kill Dracula immediately. So here she is trying to do so immediately. All of course failing, and all of course performed to the beat of 24 karat magic. It's funky to watch until you realize it's the same punchline that Blobby over here just takes all the hits. Time for some family fun with water volleyball. Don't know how the bandaged guy survives the water, but I love the framing for Frank here.
Sure, pal. Whatever you say.
And a few more punchlines later, we reach our second destination, the underwater volcano. Not quite as impactful as the Bermuda Triangle or Atlantis, is it? But hey, it's an opportunity for some underwater antics and gags. More storyless gags. As for the little story that is shown, it's more of the same. Erica gunning for Drac and him surviving. Kinda cool that this sequence is obviously one big dialogue-less scene, but the music's not even synced up! And it's not beatsy, just generic soundtrack orchestral stuff. Wouldn't this be a good spot for some mainstream slosh? Anyway, plot continues. Now Mavis spots something and the boys hear Erica complain and perceive it as adoration for Drac. Time to push Dracula into asking her out on a date.
Your delicious neck wrappings are in the nice coffin. Would you like to see my parts?
The internet would love that. Meanwhile, Dennis's arc actually connects to the plotline, with Tinkle sniffing out the secret passage and Evering cornering down Van Helsing. Cool. I hope they do more with that. Next stop, Deserted Island. Not really a good monster locale. Drac now takes the opportunity to get on with that date of his, hiding it from Mavis by lying to her face as he usually does about how he's spending time with Dennis instead. This is your standard trope, but after all the selfish crap Drac went through last movie, I guess it's just on brand. Still toxic. Beach gags, everyone gets beach gags! And Mavis learns of her dad's crush through Johnny, who can see it a mile away. Hey, I guess Johnny does contribute something to this plot. Drac's date, you probably saw in the trailers.
I'm garlic intolerant.
Quality. Anyway, Mavis finds out Drac isn't with Dennis after her personal dolphin surfing date night. What a great grandfather.
Since my wife died.
How old was your daughter?
About 32. Monster logic. Everything immediately comes to a head. Man, the deserted island has loads of plot, with Mavis crashing the date. Erica expels herself, Drac awkwardly lies his way away, and Mavis eats some garlic.
Aw, that was a cute toot, honey.
I cannot fathom how much some corner of the internet loved that. And off we sail. Hey, you should subscribe. I also do all these other things too. Bye-bye. Remember the wolves probably having my favorite arc of the film? Yeah, they're done now. Say goodbye to them until the ending. Why? Because now Van Helsing just has to make an appearance above deck. All he had to say was not long now. Maybe remind us of the ultimate weapon, I guess, because here we are. The lost city of Atlantis, protected by a giant kraken that reminds me of that Tamatoa scene from Moana, just outright. Thanks for that contribution, Joe Jonas. Turns out Atlantis is just one big monster Las Vegas. Is this creative, or is this a generic human spot with a lazy slick of paint? Anyway, there's a whole 2 character gags here, so even if it's not, the writing juices are still running low. And I checked in the background. This Skella lady doesn't even emote with her slot machine, and the screen full on just loops halfway through the shot. But forget the casino, we're following Erica and Dracula and Mavis to the uncharted parts, where Erica eventually finds the ultimate weapon and Dracula saves her life. And again, until it becomes a whole dance number. Actually, quite a fun sequence that fit right into a cartoon if it hasn't been done already. And since we've started 12 booby traps that definitely kill Erica, let's just have everything go wrong for her all last minute. She could never possibly have succeeded without him. And then Mavis pops up.
What are you doing to my father?
And this lasts about 5 seconds. Then Mavis's arc of feeling conflicted about having a stepmom and an evil one at that is done. Also, now Erica breaks up with Jack on the realization that
I could never be with a monster.
What, did you only just realize the implications now? You went through the whole dance moment and only now switch the other way round like it's a fresh surprise? Somebody's forcing a third act sadness time.
But first, we'll draw them in with a dance party.
To be fair, that's almost cunning for a basic kids movie. And so everyone's here on the dance floor. Drac is sad and Johnny says some smart words by quoting a TV show, and Mavis goes to right her wrongs. She's not allowed internal parental conflicts.
Hey man, you're not allowed up here. The DJ booth is a sacred space!
Hey, wow, we have an actual callback here.
DJ booth is a sacred space!
Van Helsing's here for the main event and Erica is up here with him, hesitantly. Time to reveal the ultimate weapon. Of course, the treasure is a music number. It's some bassy, EDM, yet ancient song that activates the Kraken's bad side. Though, I quite like all the ensemble running shots with this hallway. All 3 of them. Tinkles bites, these guys die, Blob Boy gets an overly emotional flyover shot, and Dracula gets squeezed as well. No! Who would have seen that coming? And so, like you've seen in a million cartoons before, the evil love interest turns out to have empathy for the protagonist. I've watched Sonic and Hercules, Frozen, and hell, Spy Kids 3D has it too. She pokes Kraken's eyeballs, catches Dracula, and drops Dracula anyway. Rip in peace, the end.
It's time to start a new legacy.
A monster-human legacy.
The internet would love that too. Anyway, people may be happy, but the actual villain hasn't been conquered yet.
Drac! Van Helsing's beats are controlling the giant octopus thingy.
We're gonna use good music to defeat his evil music.
Yes, you heard that right. They turned the big conflict against the bad guy, Mr. 126 years and counting supervillain, the guy who fought with laser guns 100 years ago, into a DJ battle nowadays. This is the most children's movie thing I ever heard. I'm picking up good vibrations. And I'll say it, Johnny isn't a great DJ. Sure, the song is good, but for this context, I don't think it fits, especially against mind-numbing EDM, so we go through more.
So don't worry, be happy.
Again, bad choice, and I feel a lot of kids probably won't be into this kind of old school stuff, you know? Ironic, I know, since this is supposed to be anti-evil music. I'm getting real sick of the motif of this evil EDM. But it all comes to a climax here. One final move from Kraken requires one final song, the most brain-dominating one in existence. This whole movie has been one big brain-dominating sensory overload. Has it been terrible up to this point? Yes, by design. Throughout this whole experience, we've had the plotline of your average episodic cartoon. And even looking at the 4th one, Transformania, yeah, I've seen this in cartoon episodes too. The storyline for this franchise has become as lazy as it can get. It is flat, to the point that there is literally more filler in this film, gags, than plot. So alright, this may be a terrible movie, but maybe for a comedy-filled cartoon, it's alright. This project focuses so much on its little gags, so let's review them. I have a history in comedy, damn it. The Blob never makes me laugh. The most it can get out of me is... Okay, what the fuck? Even if it is the director's voice. I like the goggles reveal on this guy. This joke is great.
Dad? Johnny?
But this one of Johnny randomly hitting a pillar has to be his worst. Frank's bride is annoying with her hair joke in the pool, but at least the back massage one is creative. Frank's gambling joke is meh, but I love this. Dennis's best joke is the one I imagine. Dennis' worst has to be...
It's our friend Bob. Say hi, Bob.
Hi, Bob.
It's random and stupid and already done once for laughs. Where's the 3rd one? Rule of 3, anyone? The wolf drop-off is great. I love the frown. Vlad roaring at the bull is fun. And am I a boomer for actually enjoying the gross-out witch-ogling? This joke is too easy. The loved-up gibberish is poor quality and way overdone. And I still don't get Murray's pain jokes. On the cruise, he doesn't even have anything. In fact, what does he or Griffin do to this plot? Not even jokes. I think part of the issue is the fact that the whole ensemble ensemble had to join, and it makes the film so bloated with people. It'd be cool if everyone connected to the plot somehow. I liked Tinkle's finding a secret, maybe having an arc of hunting Helsing in the background, but most everyone else exists on board, contributing little to any plot. Is there even a B plot in this movie? Mavis never confronts Erica despite having clear conflicts. We'd never touch on stepmother relationships, and we never will, because this movie is written to be so simple, it's afraid of anything with depth. Even dialogue has to remain quirky, whether it's 1897,
When will you Van Helsings ever learn to let go of the hay?
or whether you're 126 years old.
Oh, girl, it's an improvement, really.
So unfitting, but it doesn't matter to this film. That being said, the animation has been fantastic. It's a bad movie, but as a cartoon, this is phenomenal. It's an extended classic episode, or generic. And at the end of the day, this movie is great entertainment, especially for children. Do I wish the story was better? Oh, of course. This is insultingly dumbed down, which is a massive shame for such a well-directed spectacle. But whether it's a director's choice or Sony's, this can never be more than a basic kids film. That is baked into the design, and clearly continuing on. It deservingly splits audiences. Drac is a horrible, selfish person, Mavis is surrounded by immature people, the writing cares little for small details, and all is predictable from start to finish. But it is all a joy to observe, however diluted and basic it is. Well, apart from our big finale song. And of course, in true animated movie fashion, everyone and their mother hops on to dance along with it. Does this song choice get a pass? It is brain dominating, I'd say. Not sure it'd win in a head-to-head battle, but sure. And so the Macarena overpowers all. Van Helsing too is forced to dance. He randomly falls off a cliff and is saved, actually. Man, we really can't handle any mortality in these movies, can we?
Why would you save my life?
Because basically we are all the same.
Green skin.
Gold skin.
Prickly.
Brainy.
That's not even a lot of options. It's all a nod to how deep down we're all the same regardless of our differences. Hey, wait a minute, it's more complex than that. Didn't we just learn from Trolls World Tour that we should be celebrating our differences and not just act blind to variations? Are you seriously telling me that the second Trolls movie is more thematically deep than the third Hotel Transylvania movie? So then Van Helsing gives all a refund and is added to the official ensemble, because we needed more. Dracula zings again, which is just stamping on Mavis's mother's letter at this point, and we return to the hotel for our epilogue. The werewolves booked another cruise, a fish staff checks in, and Frank and Murray are opening a bottle. What a way to cram in your characters. All leading to Dracula pulling Erica to the rooftop to then immediately propose to her after an unneeded pause and some ensemble peer pressure. And that's your ending. Credits now! This movie ends as fast as it runs, at breakneck speed with little care for intricacies. Hotel Transylvania 3 is a terrible movie, but a great cartoon. Perhaps the delay on Transformania is a good thing. More time to make something smarter. Like that is ever gonna happen. Even Adam Sandler left. For now, I'd best end things off here. My name's been Taz, you didn't really care, and I'll see you in a bit.